You're listening to the Abundance Attitude Podcast, where you will cultivate the mental attitude that unleashes the abundance already inside you. I'm your host, Leah Pearson, manifestation expert and personal development obsessed, and your spiritual mentor. Think of this podcast as your daily dose of personal development, mindset, and the place to develop the faith, belief, and certainty in yourself and manifesting your desires. If you're ready to not just learn manifestation, but master it and live a life of abundance, you're in the right place. With that being said, let's dive into this week's episode. Hello, abundant souls. Welcome to the first episode of the Abundance Attitude Podcast. I am so freaking happy, excited, a little nervous, all at the same time, but I've been wanting to do this for quite some time, I think. If you've ever been a past client of mine, or you follow me on Instagram or my Facebook group, or even maybe TikTok, because that's the thing now, you know that I just really love to go deep into manifestation, law of attraction, mindset, personal development, and mostly like the science and psychology behind all of that and what all that encompasses and everything else in between. And so I really felt like a podcast was really aligned with me because I could go deep, and it was a place where you could just pop in your headphones and listen to me instead of having to watch, an IGTV or a live on Instagram, where I tend to go the deepest, or even, if you're in my courses, you know how deep and detailed and transformation those are. But I wanted to bring this here to a podcast too for everyone, and just really connect with you guys on a deeper level. So, here we are. Okay. So this first episode, I really have no notes. I don't really have a plan, but I kind of know what I want to talk about in this episode, and we're just going to see where it goes. Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my story, why I love manifestation, why I teach it, why I coach it, and why I want everyone, as many people as I can to know this information, integrate this information, and learn it and use it in their life, because I know how much it's changed my life, on so many levels, which who knows, all in these episodes where you're going to probably learn so much, more about me, because like I said, I can just come on here and talk to you guys instead of having 15-second to a minute videos on Instagram. So, and then of course, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about manifestation, how I approach manifestation, what I define it as, and how you can start practically using it in your life. And so, this is what we're going to dive into. Okay. So my name's Leah, as you guys know, okay, depending on when you're listening to this episode, because hopefully, it could be years to come. Who knows, right? But my name's Leah, and I've been into manifestation probably for over 5 years now. And I was pretty much like everyone else when they first come across law of attraction, manifestation. I was first introduced to it in college by a group of dudes who I would study biology with, and they were super motivated. They're all in doctorate school, if that's even a thing. They're all in medical school, is what I meant to say. Now, and then I watched The Secret on Netflix, and I have a biology degree and chemistry degree, and I can remember sitting in college classes, guys, high level, neuroscience classes. And, I wasn't religious or anything. I've never called myself an atheist per se, but I just really didn't know what I believed, what I stood for, what I wanted to connect to. I just didn't really know. Right. And so when I was in these biology classes, I would just think about man, how did our cells learn how to intricately do all these things, especially in the neuroscience classes. I was just like, I mean, there's potassium and salt pumps, there's all kinds of hormones going on, all kinds of neurotransmitters, all kinds of energy that needs to take place. And if one little tiny thing is off, like, a person could potentially, have mental difficulties, or, just even in like development, like in when you're becoming a baby, one little thing can go off, and you might not be able to function normally as a person if just one little hormone is off. And to me, that was just like mind-boggling. Um, and so I was like, what is the deal? I just feel like there has to be something. There has to be a creator, whether that is God or an infinite intelligence or something. I didn't even use the term infinite intelligence, but I just knew that it just seemed more than a fluke of evolution, okay? And so then fast forward, I watched The Secret. I believe it was after college. I can't really remember my timeline, but when I learned that you can attract things into your life with your thoughts, with your feelings, and your energy, although the law even though The Secret is more just attracting things with your thoughts and positive thinking, for some reason it all made sense. And I flashed back to those times in biology, and I was just like, this is it. This is what I was looking for. Of course that makes sense. It just resonated with me to my core. I don't know how else to describe it. But that sent me onto a journey of, wow, what is this? I want to know more. And I've always kind of been like this motivated, high achieving person, right? And so to me, being able to facilitate with using my mind and my thoughts to make that go faster or more smoother or easier, I was all in, right? I was just like, sign me the fuck up. I want to know how to use this, okay? But then, of course, I was a young person. I was probably like 22, 23, and, I met a dude. I moved. I got into my career. I just kind of like forgot about manifestation or whatever. I would say, I would read some personal development books, and I'd be like, oh, like you attracted that, or random shit like that, but I never like intentionally used it. I kind of just forgot about it, okay? But then about 2 years into dating said dude, we broke up. And so that pretty much devastated me. This was probably the lowest point in my life. Definitely not proudest, because I wish I would have handled a lot of things better. But of course, that is the beauty of, going through something like that. You can grow and learn from it. And not only that, I had just quit my job and was living off my savings account. And I started hanging out so I was jobless, I was dumped, and I moved back to my hometown. So it pretty much was at rock bottom, compared to how I was living and how I thought I should be living, right? So I started hanging out with the wrong crowd, started drinking all the time, doing drugs all the time, could barely wake up and go to my job, was just tired, not eating well, just pretty much everything that you do not want to do, I was doing. Okay. No hard drugs or anything like that, but I was definitely not living in in integrity and my highest self. And I'm only telling you this for context, guys, because I'm leading up to how I started to use manifestation and mindset and to change my life. So at the time, I was also, I did have an online business, but it was an MLM and it was failing. And even though I didn't like my 9 to 5, I knew that I wanted to be on the online space. I knew that this was something aligned with me, but of course I was just, not giving out the positive vibes that I should have been. Okay. So what happened was I eventually started questioning, like, you know, I just feel like life shouldn't be like this. I knew there was a creator. I knew that, manifestation was a thing. And I just felt like life is just so precious and so, it could be fragile too. And it's just a gift too. And I never really got what people meant when they said life is a gift. But after going through all this and realizing the potential and the power you have in your mind, I truly understand it. And I live by that now. I just knew that something had to change. I was like, holy shit, we have one life to live. And I know that even though sometimes it feels like the whole world is against you, your life is crumbling and nothing is ever going to get better, you still, I had to find the strength to pull myself out of that. And sometimes in those moments, your thoughts are going to say there's no way you could feel any different than, this shit that you feel right now. But I'm living proof that you really can pull yourself out, right? My whole life I have been, like I said, a happy, motivated person, but internal thoughts, I have been really, really destructive. I've had a huge um, critical self-talk issue. I've gone through binge eating disorders. I've gone through trying to just exercise all the time, all of that, which, in upcoming episodes I can get into further. But I just was underlyingly still had this pang of unhappiness and low self-worth and low self-esteem. And on the outside, I wouldn't really seem like that, right? And so I'm saying this because no matter what your life looks like right now, at the place I was in, I know and believe that you can get out of that place, right? I know that you can change your mindset to stop resorting to all of those awful things that people tend to think about themselves, right? And so if I didn't go through all of that, I would have not started to say, hey, life is really a gift, Leah. I have one chance, as far as we know, one shot. Why not live it the most grand, the most exciting, the most loving, the most fulfilling and purposeful life that I can? Why not make my mark in this world, and not from an egoic place, but more from if I'm feeling this way, other women have to feel this way, and I'm feeling a pull to be on the online space, like, let's try to do something with this. Right? And so I started to pick up my personal development books. And when I was in my MLM business, they would always say, do personal development, do personal development, do personal development. And I was just like, okay, I understand. Personal development makes you feel good. It's motivating you, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't until I actually started doing inner work through personal development, through learning manifestation and the power of your mind on a deeper level and actually implementing it, that I understood what those people were saying. Because the more and more I read those books, did the inner work, looked at myself, and started to actually figure out what it meant to raise your vibration. What does vibration even mean? How does manifestation work? I actually started to change my self-image. And your self-image, guys, is stored in your subconscious mind, which is your manifestation powerhouse. Because the more and more that you repeat something, say something, feel something, do something, it becomes a habit in your subconscious mind. Okay, and this was the missing piece of manifestation for me that put it all together. Now, the subconscious mind is one of my favorite parts about manifestation, so I'm not going to go too deep into it here. I'm going to save that for other episodes that I'm really excited to make. But I started to see how personal development was changing because my self-image was changing. And because, guys, law of attraction and manifestation, right? Let's break them down really quick. Law of attraction is like energy attracts like energy. And so that like energy is happening all the time. So whether you're in a neutral state, in a positive state, in a happy state, in a sad state, you're going to be attracting everything in your life. Okay. That is your current house. That is your current relationship. That is the bird you see in the sky. That is the dude you see walking down the street. That is your dog. That is, I don't know if I said money yet. Everything in your life is being attracted to you because everything is energy, right? And so to me, in abundance attitude terms, I really say that manifestation is just the phenomenon that occurs, or I say the phenomenon, it's the term describe the phenomenon of how your reality unfolds, right? Because a lot of people say, I'm going to start manifesting when they want something, when they're like, I'm going to change my life, so I'm going to start manifesting. Well, the whole kicker here is that you've been manifesting your whole life, right? And so manifestation is not just about a journey to get stuff that you want. it's a journey of self-discovery and self-learning and unlearning and changing yourself at that subconscious level, changing your energy, right? And so everything that you want is a byproduct of that self-discovery, of your energy. And so that is why I want to go so deep on these podcasts, because, I can really explain how manifestation works and why it works, and the myths about it, right? And I want to enlighten the truths about it and how to actually use it in your life. So hopefully I'm not rambling too much in this first episode. I'm literally sitting in my bathroom, staring at the toilet that I need to clean. So not to be gross, not to be TMI, but, I'm going to be transparent on this podcast, guys. So fast forward to now, I have completely changed my life through personal development, manifestation, and mindset, and changing my self-image. And if I wouldn't have gotten to that point 3 years ago, I guess it's like 4 years ago now, I would not be here today. I wouldn't have healed the things that I need to heal. I wouldn't have learned the things I need to learn to become the person that is now attracting a different life. Right? Because it's almost like when you start doing this stuff, when you start doing the personal development and the inner work, you almost don't have to do anything. You're just going to be compelled to start acting different. And because you're acting different, that means your beliefs have changed. That means your thoughts have changed. And that means your emotions have changed. And I'm going to show you all how to I'm going to break all of that stuff down on upcoming episodes as well. Okay. I actually call your beliefs, your thoughts, emotions, and actions, I call it your vibrational trademark. And so if you're doing different actions, I know that the deeper parts of the vibrational trademark have been changed, right? And because you're taking different actions, that's when you start to attract different people, different circumstances, different situations, more money, right? Because your actions produce your results, and your results are just your manifestations, right? And so the results that you have right now in your life, those are your manifestations. Wherever you're listening to this, whether it's your car, home, on your phone, whatever, that's a manifestation. Everything in your life is a manifestation. And when you start to really, really see that that's what manifestation is, it's your entire life. You're a manifestation. You can easily start to see what the beliefs you need to change, what the thoughts you need to change, what emotions you need to change, and what actions you need to change. Your reality is a mirror of your inner world, guys. And so back 3-4 years ago, when I was at that place, my self-identity was shit, right? I was attracting people that all they wanted to do was drink. I was attracting people that all they wanted to do was hit the next joint. I was attracting people that didn't have any life plans, that weren't motivated, that they just wanted to spend all their money in a bar. So that's what I was doing, right? Because that's how I felt about myself. I was trying to fulfill a void from the external instead of going inward. And because my energy was at that point, my beliefs were at that point, my thoughts, emotions, and my actions, I was attracting a shit life. I spent my entire 5-figure savings basically at bars, right? Instead of, going through that breakup and pretty much, moving on and, adding to my life, I was depleting from my life. And that's what happens to people. I was in the victim mindset. I said, why is this happening to me? Why me? Why me? And because I was in that victim mindset, I wasn't able to turn inward and see what I needed to heal and, create different results in my life, manifest differently. And so I know that if I can get from that point, which, that point in my life might not even be compared to some of the places that you guys have been. And I'm here to tell you that this, the abundance attitude is a real, I want to make it a safe place and an amazing community of support that encourages you and empowers you and validates you, validates your feelings and where you are right now, and know that it's okay. And maybe what's happened in the past, just know that, it's not you. the soul you, the real you. It's just some shit that's gotten piled up, and now it's hard to see through the shit, right? It's hard to see through all that smoke. And I know that when I was in that place, I was like, there's no way that I could think any differently. There's no way I could feel any differently. But you can. And so before I even get off track, before all that breakup even went, even in high school and college, and even, past the breakup, even now, I just know all those feelings and self-negative thoughts that I just needed to reprogram. And I just never felt like I should feel, if that made sense, right? I never felt like I was living life that the best that I could. It was just like this nagging voice. And if I can get out of that place, if I can program my subconscious mind to stop behaving like that and thinking like that, and if I can change my energy, if I can start acting in differently, if I can start feeling differently, like I know that you can, because I've had all the thoughts, I've had all the doubts, I've had all the worry of there's no way that I could be any different. But here I am, being different, right? Being different and recording a podcast, looking at my dirty toilet, but doing something from a place of so much happiness and joy and love, and not just for this space and community and you, but like also myself, right? And that's what I want for you too, because at the end of the day, that's what manifestation truly is about. I'm telling you, manifestation is not just about the desires. Oh, we're going to talk about the cars, the money, the houses, the experience, the dreams, okay? Because they can be as big as you want. But at the end of the day, like, manifestation truly is not about that. Manifestation is about who you are and that self journey and discovery. Because if you want to go where you want to go, you have to figure out where you are first. And when you do, then you can start the healing, you can start the releasing, you can start the reprogramming and changing your energy, changing your frequency and thoughts, and attract everything you want, right? Because I have a core belief that no one's inherently broken, no one's inherently stuck, quote unquote, and no one inherently can't go do what they want to do, can't go live a life that they want to live, right? We get kind of placed in society's box, and like I said, you can't see through the shit. You think that this is all there is, and you start thinking super limited, because most of society thinks limited. And that's why manifestation and mindset and law of attraction get such a bad rep, because it does really seem esoteric. But at the end of the day, to me, it's not esoteric. It makes so much sense that, if you think about it, reality and life, what is that? It's just energy, and your energy, and that's what you attract. And so when people start trying to do this work, you just get some weird looks, but like, I'd rather get weird looks and go live my dream life than stay in society's box and be miserable. You know what I mean? And so that's another reason why I started this company and this podcast now. And, all of my courses and containers and my business. That's why I did the inner work, so I could feel better. But once I did, I was like, holy shit, like, I really truly have to share this. It was such a pull to me to do this. And that's what I hope. And I got in here because of the information that I want to share with you guys, because of manifestation, because of law of attraction, because changing my subconscious, because I created this mental attitude, guys, that unleash the abundance that's inside me. And that's what I said in my intro. We're here to cultivate the mental attitude that's going to unleash the abundance already inside you, because it is really already inside you. Okay. So I don't want to make this episode too long, just because I am literally, like I said, riffing with no notes. I didn't plan it. I just wanted to talk about my story a little bit, and what manifestation is to me. And so, yeah, a lot of you might have heard my story. I don't know if you have, but I would love for you to message me if that resonated. Guys, I would stay up until 2 a.m. literally doing drugs, drinking, partying, wake up, was just so depressed, frustrated with life, and I just thought that this was the end all be all. I thought that I just got the short end of the stick. And I'm telling you, if you are sitting here thinking but you don't know my story. You don't know what's happened to me. I did really get the short end of the stick. Please DM me on Instagram at The Abundance Attitude. Tell me your story. I'm here to support you. I want to validate your feelings and then show you that there is another side and there is another way, and that you can be and have and do anything you want, because I don't think anyone should live in their shit. No one should live there. You're worthy and deserving of feeling your absolute best and living in natural joy, happiness, and abundance. And to close this out, remember, okay, manifestation is just the term describing the phenomenon of how your reality unfolds based off your energy, based off your vibrational trademark, your beliefs, thoughts, actions, and emotions. And like I said, this podcast, I want to show you how to change all of that and attract your dream life. So you can just make it a way of life and not just something you're going to go, quote unquote, start trying to do when you want something. So with that being said, I'm going to close this out now before I rant too much. And I'm going to leave you with this. I want you to start thinking about where you are right now. Start paying attention to your reality. Start paying attention to your thoughts. Start paying attention to your emotions. At first, it's going to seem really hard because you're not used to it. So you might be on autopilot still, right? You have to cultivate hyper acute awareness and start looking at patterns. Start looking, like I said, your thoughts and emotions. Start looking at your results and just ask yourself, what beliefs, thoughts, and emotions and actions would make these results? What would attract these results to me? What do I need to start shifting? What do I need to start believing? Right? And you'll start uncovering some things that you might not even know were there. You know, it could be as small as why is my house always kind of disorganized? Right? I mean, that is a manifestation too. It's not just, why don't I have $1 million in my bank account? I mean, that also is a thing to look at, but it's everything in your life. Pay attention to the details, right? So just start developing hyper awareness, and I promise you'll discover some things that you didn't know that you needed to shift, and now you can, and you'll change your energy and be able to attract different. Okay? So I would love to hear what you thought about this episode, what you might want to hear on more episodes. Any questions, DM me at The Abundance Attitude on Instagram, or you can email me at theabundanceattitude@gmail.com. Your takeaways, like I said, maybe if you've gone through something similar or you just feel like you got the short end of the stick and there's just no way out, I would love to support you. And yeah, I can't wait to continue connect on here, guys, and have further episodes. And I'm so excited. And if you are listening to this, I super appreciate you tuning in, because without the listeners, I'm not going to do this. So I appreciate you, and I cannot wait to record another episode and see you guys here again next week.
Thanks for listening to the Abundance Attitude podcast. Let me know if you liked this week's episode by leaving a review or message me on Instagram. If you aren't following me, you can find me at The Abundance Attitude. To tune in each week, you can hit subscribe, and until next week's episode, I am wishing you all the abundance.